Hello! In this video, I'm going to work on the E-axis assembly of the Prusa i3 MK3S printer. In my last video, I worked on the Z-axis. And in this video, I'm going to do the next step. Let's get started. So, the first step is to prepare the extruder parts. So we need one extruder body, which is in the 3 printed parts bag here. We also need an adapter printer, one FS lever, and we need an M3X18 screw, we need an M3X10 screw, an M3N nut, a steel ball, a 10x6x2 magnet, and a 20x6x2 magnet. Okay, so the next step is to attach this lever, to the lever that we put the magnet in, into this slot here. And then there's another hole, rectangular hole here for the other magnet here, and you want to put it in, making sure that it's pushing against each other. The magnets are pushing against each other, so the lever doesn't face straight up, but tilts at an angle. The next step is to assemble the steel ball. So there's a small ball, it's a steel ball. So basically this step is really easy. All we need to do is take the printer attachment, I think, printer attachments. And then we need to put the ball in here and then roll in all directions. And if it doesn't roll like very smoothly, then you need to take the ball out and see if there's something inside here. Then clean it out. Then try again. So once you put the steel ball in, then you need to put it in with, you put this in to, you know, this thing that's sticking up when you try to lay it flat, you put it right to the right of it. So right here. And you also need to put it down with the pyramid thing at the top facing up, and the flat side with 2 screw holes on facing you, so it covers it. So the magnetic ball is touching this lever here. The next step is to prepare the extruder motor parts. So we need one motor, which is the last motor left. Here. And we need the extruder motor plate, which is this weird part here. We need an M3X10 and 2 M3X10 screws, which are the shorter screws here in the bunch. We also need one Spawntec Gear set, but be careful because there are 2 Spawntec Gear sets. There's one with a screw, which has like a black screw going through the middle of it, and there's a there's a Spawntec set without a screw, which has a rod and 2 bearings. So use the one that has the black screw in the middle. We're going to use that now. We're going to use the other thing later. Now let's build the Spawntec Gear for the motor. So we need to attach the motor holder, I think. We need to attach it here. And don't screw in this hole here. Don't screw in the hole where the switch is supposed to be. So we're going to screw it in later. But take the two M3X10 screws, the smaller screws, and screw in the other two for now. And then you're going to take the shaft and rotate it towards the open space here, like this way. So don't turn it towards this hole here, just turn it towards open space in this direction. And then you're going to put it on the shaft with the gear thing facing up. Okay, so to align this Spawntec Gear, we're going to take a piece of filament and feed it through the filament channel here. And then you want to straighten out the piece of filament as much as you can. And then you need to feed it in here with the groove. And if the groove doesn't quite align with the filament, then you need to adjust it a little bit. So mine is good, but you also need to take the other wrench, the Allen key wrench, and feed it through here again as well to check it. So everything seems good, so I'm going to move on to the next step. The next step is to prepare the extruder cover. So we need the extruder cover, the extruder cover, which is here. And we need to take we need one M3S nut. And we need to take it and insert it into this rectangular hole here. Leave this hole here on this arm that they call it. Leave it empty for now, because we're going to use it later when we're assembling the print fan. The next step is to prepare the hot end. So we need the hot end for the MK3S, which is it's in this box. Don't cut the zip tie or the rubber band on here yet. It will make it easier for the assembly. So we're going to place the motor, and we're going to place it onto here. We need to align the grooves here, like this, the same circular shape you saw before you placed the hot end in. We need to put that on top of the hot end and then match everything up like this. And then we need to screw it in to all the screw holes that you can. You need to screw it in using these two screws. Actually, you're going to put this in first, and then you're going to screw it in through these two holes using the M3X40 screws. The next step is to assemble the X Carriage. So we need to take both M3N nuts, which are the hexagon nuts, and insert them into the middle of this place right here. And we need to take, and then if you can't get them in, you can use a screw to screw them in from the other side to screw them in. But then remember to take out the screw once you're done. Then you're going to take all 4 M3S nuts, which are the square ones, and insert them into these 1, 2, 3, 4 square rectangular holes here. next step is to assemble the IR sensor cable to the X Carriage. So, I need to take the IR sensor cable and locate the end with the smaller connector, which is this. And then you need to put that smaller connector, turn it over, and then put the smaller connector on the square hole at the top. And we need to leave a space between the board that is 15 millimeters apart from the board. And then we need to guide the cable and remember through the path. And we also need to remember the path because we will use it for the other cables as well. So take it and pull it through here, and then just leave it here for now. The next step is to assemble the X Carriage. So we need to take the hot end here and the motor, and then we need to make a small loop. Actually, we're going to guide the cable, so we're going to make a small loop here. So we need to take it and you turn it over on the bottom and guide the cable through this slot right here, this overhang, and we're going to pull it through here, leaving a little bit of a loop here. And place it onto the back of the extruder assembly, which is where these 4 screws are. So next step is to prepare the IR sensor. So we need the Prusa IR sensor, which is, you either have a black board or a red board, but the functionality remains the same. The next step is to attach the IR sensor to the extruder. So we need to take the IR sensor, and we need to take the IR sensor without touching the parts itself, and we need to take it and put it on. When you put it on this plate here by the motor, and then attach this wire here to it. The next step is to prepare the Hotend Fan, which is the cooling fan for the hot end if it gets too hot. So we need the Hotend Fan Noctua, which is the square looking fan, not the round one, the square one. And we need there are 2 things that you keep in mind. That make sure you're using the correct screws, and they keep the cable in the bundle for now, meaning that don't unravel the cable right now. Okay, so it also says that before you move on to the next step, take an Allen key and gently push the motor cable to the channel to create space for the fan cable. So, once I take a Allen key wrench, and once I push the motor wire here a little bit down, so it leaves way for the fan cable. The next step is to prepare the extruder idler. So we need 1 extruder idler, which is this part. We need the Spawntec Gear without the screws, and we need 1 idler spring. And we need to put it on one of the M3X40 screws. So now we have a plain M3X40 screw, and we have a MX40 screw with the spring on there. Okay, so now that we have all the parts, let's see what the next step is. Okay, so next step is the bearing assembly. And then it's fairly simple. You just need to put both of these bearings, and we need to put both of these bearings here inside the Spawntec Gear. And they should slide in very, very easily. But they tend to fall out, so be aware of that. And then there's like a black, and it looks a little bit black in here. So yeah. So the next step is to we're going to do the extruder idler assembly. So we're going to take an M3N nut and place it in the extruder here. And place it on the bottom, the only hole in the bottom, only besides this big hole in the center. So now that I've inserted the bolt, I'm going to take the Spawntec Gear and put it between here. And we're going to make it put the gear at the when you put the gear at facing the side where there's like a little rectangular cut here. So like this. And then we're going to take a shaft. I'm going to insert it through here. Okay, so now that I've inserted the Spawntec Gear in here, let me see what the next step is. The next step is the filament alignment check. So we're going to take the filament again, a piece of filament, and we're going to put it through the hole here where the silver ball is. I'm going to push it through. I'm going to push it through to make sure everything is like straight. So everything looks good right now. Everything looks good. So I'm going to attach the bearing in there now. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to attach it to here with the rectangular cutout here is on this bump here. And they're going to screw it in from the bottom part right here using an M3X40 screw, which is one of these. Now let's assemble the F3X cover. So we need to place the cover on the extruder where the square cutout here is, sort of a square cutout here. Put it on top of the IR sensor board. Now let's assemble the print fan support. So we need to take this nut and insert it into this slightly tilted hole here. And then we're going to take this and attach it to this hole by this motor cable here. We're going to attach it to the side that's not tilted. So now let's assemble the fan shroud. So we need to take the square nut and insert it into this part here that's sticking out. And there should be like a little cutout here. Place the square nut in there. And then attach this to using the fan. Put it onto the remaining hole in the fan. And there should be like a little groove here. And you need to put this part that's sticking out inside the groove like this. So now let's assemble the print fan. So we need to take the print fan and have the bottom. We're going to attach this hole here to this mount that we just attached, in a way so that the print fan like exiting valve here goes into the other mount here. The next step is to prepare the Pinda sensor. So we need one Pinda sensor. We need one Pinda sensor here. And then the look of the sensor might be slightly different than the instructions, so just keep in mind. So there should be 4 wires in the connector from looking here. So you have less than 4 wires, then contact the Prusa support, because then you might be like wrong part or something. So we need one Pinda sensor. And then we're going to attach it to the extruder. So we're going to take this part right here, and then we're going to attach it to there's a little mount right here, and you're supposed to attach it. You're supposed to attach it to the top. The top is this part. This up here is the top, so you're supposed to attach it through the top, right here. The next step is to, using zip ties, attach the extruder to the X-axis assembly. So we're going to take these two. We're going to take the one zip tie and then put it through this rectangular hole, cutout hole right here. And we put it through there with the hole with the head on the bottom, actually. Okay, so we also need to attach this to here. So we attach this to the top here. I'm going to lower this a little bit. And then there's this wide hole here. We need to put it and align it with these 2 brackets here. Okay, so now they want to manage make the cables not in the way. So first we're going to take the Pinda sensor cable and pull it over here. And then we're going to place the cables on a hot end. They're going to take these ones and they're going to place them over. Now we're going to assemble the X-axis belt. So we're going to insert the flat part of the X-axis belt into the X carriage as in the picture. So that I think that means that there's a little groove here. It's goes up and down. And it goes straight up a little bit and then down. So they want me to put one of these flat sides on it. So I'm going to take the flat side and put it on there. Now I need to rotate the X-axis motor this way towards the extruder. So we need to do it towards the extruder to tighten it. And insert the flat part of the XGT2 belt, or the X-axis belt, into the X Carriage, as in the second picture here on my manual. So they just want me to insert the belt here slightly, but not all the way in to here, like this, and you can really see, but like you need to insert just a tiny bit, not that much. The next step is to tension the belt. So before we do that, we need to wrap the motor's wire around the motor itself. So first, so it gets out of the way a little bit. And then after that, we're going to pinch this right here. Now that I've tightened the belt, let's see what the next step is. The next step is to test the belt. So we need to take the needle nose pliers and tilt it. And we need to take needle nose pliers and hold it here, and move the extruder to try to move the extruder towards here without moving it. Don't use too much force. If it doesn't move at all, it doesn't move that much, then you should be good. But if it does move like a little more than not that much, then you need to tighten it a little bit more. Okay, so now that we've tested and tensioned the belt, now let's cut this part off, excess part off. So we need to take, if it's optional to get a white marker, it's highly recommended to get a white marker to mark where you need to cut it. But you can also trim the belt if you don't have a white marker or don't want to use one. Now I'm ready to cut. So I'm going to take my my cutters here, and I'm going to cut it here. Now we're going to finish tensioning the belt. So first we're going to release all the screws on here. So we're going to use an Allen key to start tightening the M3X 18 screw inside the X end motor, which is the top part up here that's loose. You might recall in my X-axis video that this screw was loose and we're going to use it for a different reason. Now we're going to use it for that reason, to tighten the belt. And so we're going to tightening the M3X 18 screw. But you need to check the tension in the belt after every turn that you do. Okay, so now that it's tight, let's see what the next step is. So now we're going to take the black nylon filament that came with the set, and we're going to cut 50 centimeters to 19.7 inches, or 19.7 inches of it. But it is highly recommended to wear safety glasses for this because parts might fly off and hit you. So it's highly recommended to use safety glasses. Now that I've inserted the black nylon cable into the extruder, let's see what the next step is. The next step is to prepare the X Carriage back. So we need one X Carriage back, we need one cable holder, and we need one M3X40 screw, and we need one M3N nut. We're going to take the M3X40 screw and insert it into the hole with the. We're going to insert it into the hole with the big larger hole here. There's like a little slot here. Just put it in here, on that side. Now let's attach the cable holder to the X Carriage back. So first we need to take the M3N nut and insert it into the X Carriage and the 6 shaped hole. And then we're going to attach this part in here. Now we're going to mount it. So first, we're going to take the the IR sensor cable, which is the red, black, and white cable. Yours might be a little bit different. The motor is the red, blue, green, and black. Slide it through there. And then you need a Hotend Fan, which is the yellow, red, and black. Yellow, red, and black in a casing. So it's a yellow, red, and black in a textile casing here. Or I think it's just yellow, red. Sorry. So we're going to slide it through here as well. Next, we're going to add the print fan, which is yellow, red, and black. And slide it through here. It might be different. And the Pinda sensor, which is the one with the heat shrink tubing. I think is the heat shrink tubing. The brown, black, blue, and white with a heat shrink tubing. I'm going to insert that through here as well. And finally, you need to insert the nylon filament. So nylon filaments here. And we do not insert the Hotend cable into there. Do not. So let's see what the next step is. Okay, so the next step is to insert we're going to insert this to the extruder using the M3X10 screws, 4 of them. So first I'm going to pull them from the back here. Now that I've attached the extruder to the back plate to the extruder, let's see what the next step is. The next step is to repair the textile sleeve. We're just going to go over all these wires to keep it in place. So we need to take the zip ties and thread it through here. When we're supposed to put them through these 5 holes here. But before we put the zip tie them right here, we need to put the hot end wire through there. Now that I've secured the textile sleeve and the hot end cables, we're going to attach put the hot end cables inside the textile sleeve.
2, 1.
Now that I've inserted the hot end wires into the textile sleeve, Let's see what the next step is. Oh, I completed my final step. It's time for me to have a gummy bear. Thanks for watching. In my next video, I'm going to do the LCD assembly, which is basically the part that's going to mount, I believe right here, to control the whole printer. Bye!